The morning shift at McDonald's on Maple Street started like any other Tuesday. Sarah wiped down tables while the breakfast crowd thinned, and Marcus restocked napkins behind the counter. Then came the meowing. At first, Sarah thought she'd imagined it. But when she heard it again, a tiny, desperate cry, she followed the sound to the dumpster area behind the restaurant. There, huddled against the cold metal, was the smallest orange tabby kitten she'd ever seen. Its fur was matted and dirty, its green eyes enormous in its tiny face. The kitten couldn't have been more than 6 weeks old. "Oh, sweetie," Sarah breathed, scooping up the trembling creature. It weighed almost nothing. She brought the kitten inside through the back door, wrapping it in her spare sweatshirt. Marcus's eyes went wide when he saw her. "Sarah, you can't—" I know. Just for a minute. Look at her, Marcus. She's starving." The kitten mewed pitifully, and Marcus's resolve crumbled. "Okay, but if Dave sees—" Dave, their manager, emerged from his office at that exact moment. He opened his mouth to protest, then looked down at the kitten. His expression softened. 20 minutes, he said gruffly. "Get her cleaned up and fed, then she needs to go. We can't have animals in here." Sarah grabbed a clean towel and gently wiped the kitten's face while Marcus warmed up some milk. Not ideal for cats, they later learned, but it was all they had. The kitten lapped at it desperately, tiny pink tongue working overtime. Word spread quickly through the restaurant. Jessica from the drive-thru window came to peek. Tom, the cook, emerged from the kitchen with a piece of plain scrambled egg. Even customers began asking what was happening. "Can I see the kitten?" asked an elderly woman named Mrs. Chen, who came in every Tuesday for a senior coffee. Sarah brought the now clean kitten out to show her. The orange tabby had perked up considerably, her fur fluffing out as it dried. She had white paws that looked like little socks and a pink nose that twitched curiously. "Oh my," Mrs. Chen whispered. "She looks like the kitten I had as a girl. Same coloring, same white feet." The kitten reached out with one tiny paw toward Mrs. Chen, who gently extended her finger. The kitten grabbed it with both paws and began to nibble playfully. Mrs. Chen's eyes filled with tears. "My husband passed last year. The house has been so quiet." Sarah and Mrs. Chen locked eyes, and Sarah smiled. By closing time, the kitten had a name, Maple after the street, and a new home. Mrs. Chen had called her daughter, who'd rushed to the pet store for supplies. They left with Maple purring in a new carrier, a bag full of kitten food, and appointments already scheduled with a veterinarian. But the story didn't end there. Mrs. Chen became a daily customer, always bringing photos of Maple to show the staff. The kitten grew into a beautiful cat with a playful personality. More importantly, Mrs. Chen joined a local cat owners group and made new friends. Her daughter later told Sarah that her mother hadn't seemed this happy in years. The staff at McDonald's began calling themselves Team Maple, and they put a small framed photo of the kitten behind the counter. When corporate heard the story, instead of reprimanding them, they featured the McDonald's on social media as an example of community kindness. Dave, the manager, tried to maintain his gruff exterior, but Sarah caught him smiling at the photo more than once. "Still shouldn't have brought a cat inside," he'd grumble, but there was no heat in it. 6 months later, on a rainy October morning, Sarah found another kitten behind the dumpster, this time a tiny gray one. She looked at Marcus, who just laughed. "I'll get the milk," he said. "I'll call Mrs. Chen's daughter," Sarah replied. "I think she mentioned wanting a friend for Maple." Dave emerged from his office, took one look at the situation and sighed deeply. But he was already reaching for his phone. "I'll call the vet. They might know someone who can foster until we find a permanent home." The McDonald's on Maple Street never officially became an animal rescue. But somehow, word got around the neighborhood that if you found a stray kitten, the folks at that particular McDonald's might be able to help, and they usually did. As for Maple, she lived a long, happy life as Mrs. Chen's beloved companion, occasionally visiting the restaurant that saved her life, though always after hours, and never near the food prep area. Some rules, after all, were meant to be followed. But everyone agreed. That little orange kitten with the white sock paws had brought something special to Maple Street. A reminder that kindness costs nothing and can change everything.